here's this amazing book by Paul Sheely, a book called Photoreading. And what you're going to learn is how to blast through materials, whether they be books, reports, emails, at 25,000 words a minute. I bet you don't believe me. If you don't, stay with me for the next 10 minutes and I'll show you exactly how it works. I'm going to tell the story first of all of how this came about. Paul Sheely, the author of this book, Photoreading, is a psychological expert. He has an organization called Learning Strategies Corporation in Minneapolis. And he's always been fascinated in how the subconscious mind works to take in data at huge speeds. 30 years ago, he met a guy called Dixon who'd written a book called Pre-Conscious Processing. Pre-conscious processing is how we actually take on information at a level which we don't even consciously notice. Pre-conscious processing. So Paul Sheely found a way of working out exactly how this works, and he developed a system whereby he can teach other people to do it. Sounds really unbelievable. And I thought that too. If you believe that, then you have to be absolutely crazy. 25,000 words a minute? I thought, what a load of bullshit when I read this book, and I actually went to London to hear a talk by Paul Sheely, which was fascinating, the way in which he talked about how this whole course was developed. I'm just going to explain one benefit that Photoreading gave to me, and that had to do with golf. Sounds crazy, but Photoreading can actually improve not only your ability to read, but also performance. My goal was to become a golf teacher. I could play golf, I'd played for ages, but my golf wasn't good enough to get through the exam. In fact, I failed it. I had to play to a handicap of 7. If you know anything about golf, then that's not bad. It's not professional standard, but you have to be able to hit the ball. Problem was, I'd not played for 3 years, and golf is a micro movement sport. In other words, you have to get yourself into the groove, as they call it, to be able to repeat shots over and over again. I read this book and I thought, okay, I'm going to photo read 6 golf books. I had a whole row of golf books at home and I photo read them. Let me show you how it works. There are 3 basic steps to photo reading. The first one is preview, the second one is photo read, and the third one is activate. Preview, first of all. Basically, the idea of previewing is you get the book and you look through it and you see which chapters could be particularly useful for you to find something about or to learn from. I see that here you have old reading habits or new reading choices. That's an interesting one for me personally, because it talks about websites, memos, proposals, reports, things which I'm involved in on an everyday basis. Everybody has their own thing that they're interested in. And then the next step is to photo read. Now, photo reading is a way of dumping the information into your subconscious mind. As I said before, it sounds unbelievable, but from my experience, it actually works. When I was doing the test, the golf test, when I actually was doing the course, I thought, I'm never going to pass this test. My golf is just not good enough. In fact, I failed. Step 2. Step 2 is the photo reading process. The photo reading process involves a special type of reading. It involves moving your hands very quickly through the book and you looking at the book in a very special way. Now, you know these crazy pictures where you can look into them and then something appears almost out of nothing? That's the thing that we want to do. Let me show you, if you don't know those, a tip or a method that you can use in order to get into this way of looking. It's a sort of non-focal way of looking where you're able to view everything around you. You're able to see things on the periphery which you can't normally see. Now, do this with me, please. Take your hands and put them in front of your eyes, and I'd like you to look beyond the fingers as if you're looking at the wall. Now, if you do this in a relaxed state, what you'll find is, if you practice a few times, is that there's a little mini finger in the middle, which looks a little bit like a cocktail sausage. Now, you might find that this is difficult to do to begin with, but with a bit of practice and persistence, you'll be able to get in that state. If you can't do that, then don't worry. Another way to do it is to put your attention on the back of your head, or just above the head. Imagine that there's a tangerine above your head here, the back of the head, and focus your attention on that and just take some deep breaths. Relaxed state is really important with photo reading. It's not helpful if you're stressed or get phone calls. You need to be in a state where you're able to have this way of looking and a relaxed state so that you're able to do the next step, which is the photo reading itself. Now, photo reading, I would normally do this sitting down, but I'm going to do it standing up just to show you how it works. The way it works basically is that I turn over the page at about this speed here, and I go through the book at the same time chanting a type of mantra. The mantra is to distract me from saying things in my mind which I don't want to come into my mind. I'll show you how that might work later, but this is how I have learned to do it. Relax, relax, keep the state, see the page. I'm doing this, and all the time I'm imagining that I've got this tangerine behind my head, or I'm in the state where I can see the wide focus. Let's continue. Relax, relax, keep the state, see the page. What do you do next? Step 3, you put the book down. You put the book down and then maybe you sleep on it, or you give yourself at least an hour or two so that the information is able to percolate in your brain. We say to sleep on something. Sleeping on it is even better. So you then come afresh to the book and you activate. Activating is normally done with a mind map. So the idea is to look at all of the various points which you can actually pull out of the book now. And when you've done that, there's what we call the stage, which is to do with speed reading. Speed reading, as you know, is quickly reading through the page and picking out things and maybe reading pages which you think could be really interesting. Now, that's a real quick whistle stop tour through this method, actually, but as a kid, I wanted to become a professional golfer. But my mum and dad wanted me to go to school, study, and do the things which young kids do. I was lucky that I got a place to study at university. Okay, so I let golf go, but I never let go of this dream to play golf and to be a teacher. So the second best thing was not to play golf professionally, but to become a teacher. So in 2000, I did a course to become a World Golf Teachers Professional. Problem? Failed the test. Wasn't good enough. So I had one last chance. I could go to a golf course. I had to play the golf course in at least 4, 5, and 6 over par. Now that sounds no big deal, but if you're a non-professional golfer and you haven't played for 3 years, then it's no mean feat. But what I did was I thought, okay, there's no way I can practice enough. I need these micro movements to be able to play well enough normally. So I got 6 of my favorite golf books and I photo read them. I photo read them 5 nights before the actual time when I was doing the test again. And so I got the 6 books out, photo read them, and I didn't do anything else. And surprise, surprise, I actually passed the test. I was gobsmacked. I didn't know what happened, and I still don't really know what had happened. But the only thing I can put it down to is actually doing this and seeing how photo reading can improve performance on a level which nobody really understood is possible. If you're interested in any further insights into photo reading, let me know, and I'll make 2 special films just for our course, the course which we're doing with Ali. So I thought that would be an interesting win-win. I practice the films and you're able to practice photo reading. Let me know if that's an interesting thing. Just write some comments down here, and yeah, look forward to our next session.